Ladies and gentlemen, women are called change agents all too often. But what does it mean for people who are in the business of understanding women? Let's invite Mr. Frederic Widell, Vice President, Chief of South Asia and India of one of the world's leading beauty brands, Oriflame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frederic Widell, please help me welcome him.
Good evening, and thank you for hosting me tonight. This is actually my second appearance in an Outlook SpeakOut in the last 3-4 months. And I thank Outlook for this initiative. It's awesome. It just needs to be more often. So I come from Sweden. Now, Sweden is one of the most equal societies on this planet right now. We have a gender gap of 8%, right? So for me, growing up in the 80s, when Sweden was the richest country on the face of this earth, we never discussed equality. It wasn't an issue. It wasn't something that we thought about. We thought of our, sisters and mothers and wives and so forth as 100% equal to us. And only as a young man, 14, 15, 16 perhaps, you started thinking about there was in fact a different gender. Right? So what can I, a white man in his middle ages, offer to a session such as this one? Probably coming from the most privileged group of people on the face of this earth right now. Well, I can offer my support and my devoted contribution to women empowerment at large. And it angers me, in fact, to have to be here on a Saturday evening at 8 p.m. and talk about a topic that is just natural. Of course, there must be equality. I don't even understand why I'm here. I should be home with my woman having a glass of wine. But I am here because this is an important topic. And we battle with this, and I think women and men need to come together in this battle. It's not something that women can do alone. And we need to support our mothers, daughters, sisters, and so forth in this quest. And still, as I mentioned, 8% gender gap in Sweden. That 8 percentage points must be closed ASAP. The gender gap in India, if you look at the latest gender gap analysis report, is nearly 40%. Now, the Indian society, right now, 27% of women are in employment. In Sweden, this number is 85%, and for men, 85%. India is there 84% men and 27% women. And this is a huge gap. By closing this gap and getting closer to Sweden, India will generate an enormous amount of money to its GDP. And of course also leading to equality. We know that the biggest talent pool, and I am a businessman, and I am also a professional public speaker. This topic is always a topic that makes me a bit nervous, because it's an important topic. Talking about self-development and motivation is easy. Talking about women empowerment is difficult, especially as a man from the West. And I think we need to understand that in business, the largest untapped talent pool that's out there are women. We know that in business, we have studied and we see that companies that have more women in leadership positions are more profitable. That's just basic facts. And it doesn't make sense not to involve the different gender or the opposite gender in this quest. BBC released just a couple of days back the list of the 100 most influential women in the world, 2019. 7 of these 100 women are from India. And they are in every type of issue you can think of. Human rights in Kashmir, poets, space entrepreneurs, gender equality experts, environmentalists, doctors, and so forth. And perhaps these women are not creating daily news coverage, but they're doing enormous deeds to society. And we need to have more testimonials of successful women for men in leading positions around this nation and other nations of similar challenges, to understand that it's just smart business strategy to have equality in the workplace. So, for all OECD countries around the world, to close the gender gap to the point of Sweden, and we have to remember, this is still not 100% yet, would actually generate $7 trillion US. $7 trillion US. Now, if anybody's good at math, you go ahead and translate this into crores, it would be a bunch of zeros. It's a hell of a lot of money. 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. So there you go. A lot of money to the economies, and that's the whole point here. When it comes to women acting as agents of cultural and social change, we need to highlight a few topics here. One is demography, and the important thing here is, of course, one, family planning. To remove the taboo on contraceptives. Smaller families lead to better education and better inclusion in society. That's just a proven fact. And therefore, you need to remove the stigmas and the taboos on contraceptives. Another thing with demography I think is important to mention here is, of course, child marriages. And to make sure that there are no child marriages will, of course, allow women to have a different type of education and, again, inclusion in society. And that's the most important thing for equality. In leadership, we see that companies with women on the boards will have more women in leading positions. And more women in leading positions, I just mentioned, will improve the financial situation of organizations. And this is important. Having to come here on a Saturday evening talking about women equality makes me both sad and happy at the same time. It makes me happy because I can do whatever little I can do to this cause. Because I have a mother, I have a sister, and I have a woman in my life that matters more to me than anybody else. Why on earth should they not be treated the same way as us? Why on earth should they not have same pay for equal job? It just doesn't make sense. So to all men who are here today, 8 o'clock on a Saturday evening, get your act together and support your family. Thank you.